Yo, what the heck is going on? My name is Whisper the Coke God, and this is my interview with, let me see who this is exactly. I want to give proper credit. Wavy Magazine. So shout out to Wavy Magazine. Shout out specifically to Julian. Yes, he's the guy that reached out, set this up, and I'm excited to do an interview for the magazine. So he told me to choose 8 questions and let's go. Okay, so this is an introduction. So, like I said, my name is Whisper the Coat God. My real name is Hector, and I'm from Joliet, Illinois. That's near the Chicago area. And let's see, let me look at these questions here. Tell us about my journey. Okay, so I've been doing music for about 6 years. I started when I was coming fresh off my senior year graduation. And I've always kind of like had music as a hobby. Thanks to my dad, he's like a DJ, so whenever I would visit him, he would kind of show me the DJ equipment and I would mess around with the music and I thought it sounded cool. So it was like a little hobby that kind of stuck with me throughout the years. And yeah, so I was like 19 when I started and I kind of started freestyling and writing diss tracks on Xbox Live. So I'd be like in Xbox Live parties and I'd be like freestyling and fucking diss battling my homies over like Xbox, over Call of Duty games. And it just became like a recurring thing. Like every Friday, Hector, this was before Whisper the Coke God. Hector, he would, go up against a random friend in the group and they would just go back and forth rap battling with a music beat in the background. And I think that's kind of where, like, that was the origin story, that's where I started. And I just kept on getting like positive feedback, positive information from my friends. So then I started to drop music on SoundCloud during like my senior year of high school, because at that point I wasn't taking music seriously, but I was just doing it for fun. And I started to gain a little bit of notoriety in high school, and they were giving me positive feedback as well. And yeah, that's kind of like how it started. That's kind of how it snowball affected into 6 years later. This is where I am now. And let me see this other question. How did you get started in the music industry? Well, yeah, like I said, when I was like 19, that's when I started to take it serious. And that's when I started to have like more networking moves and me going out to shows and me reaching out to people online. And that's kind of when I made it in my mind, like, this is my career. This is what I want to do for my life. So I guess when I was like 19, I kind of started, and I've just been educating myself on the music industry ever since, preparing myself for what's to come. And then what else? What inspires your musical passion? Okay. I think what inspires me is the world. And I say that because when I'm writing music or when I'm freestyling music, I just kind of pull what's going on in the world, what's going on around me into my words. Like I pull the topic and I just form it into words, into a flow, into a rhythm. And that could be anything. Like it could be, recently it's been like WWE, or before that it was you're like underwater having a rave, like a fucking SpongeBob episode, and then another one was like Family Guy. So it's like whatever's just going on around me that I like, that I think is cool, I just like pull that and use it as inspiration. And I think that's what keeps me passionate. That's what keeps it exciting and keeps it fun. It never gets boring, it never gets stale, because I'm just constantly like evolving as a person and investing myself into new habits. And, it's just like I constantly have stuff to rap about, stuff to make music about. So it's like never ending. It's like forever abundant. Okay, so my musical style, like I said before, it's kind of based off the world, but it's also based off of like how I interpret the world and my mindset, my perspective, my emotions, my feelings, my opinions, what I know resonates with the audience and what I want to push upon the audience are two separate things. So I kind of like lost tangent of the question. Describe my musical style. So I think it really comes off like emotion. Like I kind of just make music off my emotions. And as far as like genres, I tend to blend and mix multiple genres together, and I kind of do my own thing with it. Like I'll take stereotypical genres like hip hop and rap, acoustic, classical, like those main genres, but I'll just kind of fuse it with like a punk element, a rock element, a fucking EDM club dance element. Like I'm not really afraid to explore different sounds or combine different things or to push boundaries with my music. And I think it's super fun. Like there's songs where if you're in a hype mood, you'll just feel that, songs you can listen to during a workout, or I have songs where you could cry to, you're sad in your room, it's dark, you're in your thoughts, and you're just crying to the music, and it's like the music is kind of giving you a hug. And then I also have songs where it's like, yeah, I'm going to this club, I'm going to this party, and I'm gonna get hella ignorant and arrogant, and I'm gonna live that superficial lifestyle, and I'm gonna get all the money and all the girls. Like I have that stuff too, so it's like all just different emotions, because life is full of emotions. Life is so complex. Life is not just one emotion. There's so many different emotions and feelings, and that's how I feel like my music represents itself into the world. Yeah, that's how I feel like my music represents itself to the world. That was a good question. Let's see. And what themes or emotions do you often explore in your songs? So, themes and emotions, I feel like I have a huge spectrum between my themes and emotions, because I feel like I can do a super positive song, like all the way up here, where it's like talking about Jesus and talking about God and talking about like how life beautiful is and all these like high vibrational things. But then I can also do everything in between all the way down to like something more dark and evil and sinister and like fucking brutal, so it's like I have that whole range, and I've like experimented with so many different lyrical topics. I have a song about skateboarding, I have a song about having a lazy day, I have a song about being addicted to vices and asking for help, and I could go on and on and on. It's like no song is really super similar to another one. It's like each song is its own world, its own unique universe, so it's like themes of darkness, themes of righteousness, themes of triumph, themes of sorrow, themes of loss, themes of friendship and love. I can hit so many different themes, dude. It's life. It just goes back to, it's just life, bro. There's so much different emotions and feelings and themes in life, and I just try to hit every one. I'm not one of those artists where it's just like club song over and over and over and over, or like ignorant, arrogant song over and over and over and over. Like if that's what you're into, respect, but I just like to have more flavor to my discography. So I think I've always had more of a gravitation to the more like acrobatic lyricism. So my like early influences, they go back to Biggie Smalls and to Earl Sweatshirt and to Eminem, like all those people who could like play with their words, or even like a little bit further down the line, like Twista, Busta Rhyme, and then even a little bit more down the line, like Triple X Tentacion, Ski Mask the Slump God, you know, that whole 2016 SoundCloud era. I think that really motivated me and made me feel like, you know what, if these guys can do it, I can for sure do it. So yeah, that whole like 2016 SoundCloud era, Lil Pump, Smoke Perp, Lil Peep, Juice World, yeah, that whole wave. Specifically X. Yeah, specifically X and Ski. They both did. I would watch their videos and I would watch their vlogs and hear their music, and I was like that person who was putting my friends onto X and Ski, and at first they'd be like, what the fuck is this? But then over time they like grew to like it. Yeah. And then yeah, so as far as like my creative vision, I think I'm kind of in a state where I developed my own image and my own sound and my own style. And that's just me fusing my different inspirations and influences together, you know, and kind of building on top of that and just adding my own little sauce on it. So I feel like my creative vision, it really stems from myself, but I do take inspiration through what's, I guess you could say, what's popular nowadays. Because I know people like visuals, so I post a lot of stuff on YouTube. I just did I opened up a TikTok, so I'm kind of like adapting, adapting to, you know, what's gonna take me to the next level. So yeah, I feel like my creative vision is my own. Okay, so my songwriting process, share insight. Okay, so it depends on the song. Usually sometimes I'll freestyle, other times I'll write. I think if I want to get more in detail with the song and I have like something on my mind I really want to speak on, I'll write it. But if I'm in there just kind of being lighthearted and having fun, goofing around, or I'm just like really in the moment, I'll freestyle. I'll freestyle something. Or if like I have a feature, but like the feature on their end never came through, so I'm like, shit, I gotta throw a whole different verse on this song, but I don't feel like writing it, I'll just freestyle that too. But yeah, it's pretty like a mixture of freestyling and writing. And what I do when I'm writing a song is I'll have the beat playing in the background and I'll just kind of freestyle lines, see what lands, see what doesn't. I'll kind of like hum melodies, harmonies, just kind of try to come up with like a hook right away. And then if I feel like I can come up with a good hook and it's catchy and I like it, then I'll start structuring it and I'll put like a verse and I'll put like, oh, verse comes in at 23 seconds. Hook 2 comes in at 1 minute and 13 seconds, like super specific. And, you know, I'll incorporate like different elements like a bridge or an outro, intro. You know, I'll have fun with it. I'll kind of create it like, you know, like a cinematic masterpiece, but for your ears, you know, best I can. So I really try to make it sound smooth, really try to make it sound good. And then, let's see, where do you find inspiration? From the world. I think we've covered that. And what subjects or stories do you enjoy exploring in your lyrics? So what I personally like is I like the more healing, upbeat, real substance and depth kind of music. That's like the stuff that I personally like to write about. You know, something that's fun, something that's easy to digest, and something that's going to make you feel good and lead you closer to God and lead you closer to Jesus. You know, even if it's in my own way, even if it's just not super direct, maybe it's more like snuck in there, subtle, in the background. But I think ultimately, just if I can make someone feel good, feel loved, feel free, feel at peace with my music, then that's like the type of music that I like to make. And I know that in the industry, there's like a certain perceived agenda, a certain perceived like image or sound that people naturally gravitate towards, whether you like it or not. That's just kind of part of the game. So I do those types of songs too, to like appease the matrix, to appease the masses. But like once I really have a hold on them, and once they become fans, and once they explore like further beyond the surface in my music, then they'll like be more open to that type of energy, to uplift them and to ultimately put them in a better position than before they discovered my music. Yes. Okay, so this next one is career highlights. What are some memorable moments or achievements that stand out to you? Oh man, there's so many. I'm gonna stay humble here too, but there's so many. I could go on and on. But I'll start backwards. So I was recently able. I'm trying to contain myself here. I'm hyped. I'm proud to say that I was recently able to open up for Lil Xan, and I got to meet him. I got to hang out with him backstage, him and his homie and his girlfriend. We were all able to just like chill on a man-to-man, like one-to-one level, and I got to hug him and I got to shake his hand, and he gave me advice. And he said he sees that star power in me. He sees it in me. And that was just so motivating. I got to open up for him and I got to see him perform, and I got to perform, and his crowd really fucked with me. And I even got a whole vlog. Yeah, maybe Wavy magazine, they could throw the vlog in the link. That'd be pretty cool. A vlog, I said that wrong. A link in the video, you know, a link on the website. But yeah, it was so cool. I got to open up for Lil Xan. And then I also opened up for C. Honcho before, and a couple other artists. Their names aren't really coming to me right now, but a couple other artists in there. And I've thrown like a couple shows on my own, and I had some really good turnouts. And my shows, they're like hybrid shows, you know. It started off as a music show combined with a video game tournament. So it'd be like a 2-in-1. You know, you'd go, and the first half of my show was like a video game tournament. You could win prizes. This one show, I gave away a Nintendo Switch. You know, it was like a Super Smash Bros. And Mortal Kombat tournament. It was so fun. And then after that, we had a music tournament. You know, you could like see different live artists perform, go head to head. They perform a song, and the crowd chose who would win, who would advance to the next round. And that was like a tournament as well, and there was prizes for that. And yeah, that was like a good experience. And just throwing my own shows, it shows me that like people will come and people enjoy themselves, and it's a good way to get yourself out there and make some money. And let's see what else. So I opened up for a few artists. I did a couple of my own shows. I dropped some albums, some projects, some EPs that were really successful. You know, I've even integrated like album release parties a couple times, and those were really good. Hella people came, and it was just awesome. And let's see, what are some of the most memorable? Yeah, let's see. And I even remember like my early days, I'd go to like house parties, high school parties, college parties, and I would just perform my music. And that was just like so fucking underground because people wouldn't even know who I am in the local area at that point. So I'd just be like out of nowhere, like, who the fuck is this dude? Oh god, so many good memories. Even like my own collectives, I've been in like maybe 2 or 3 collectives throughout my music career. I even got one tattooed on me, 29. And yeah, just so many good memories. And I've expanded ever since. You know, it's not just music, it's YouTube, it's clothing, it's video games, it's events. And I know that's like a lot to conquer. I'm only one guy, but you know, you got to build your team. And I feel like that's kind of subconsciously what's going on in my life right now. I'm building my team, and I'm going to try to do as much as I can in this lifestyle, in this life. So, yeah, I think those are some achievements. Like I said, I could go on and on, but I don't want to talk your ear off. Okay, so now we're talking about the visual artistry. So I think visuals play a huge part in who you are as an artist. It's like visuals, they kind of represent you. And I think a lot of the common visuals that are going on in the industry right now is either overly sexual, or it's demonic, or it's extremely violent. And it's just like kind of toxic, you know, kind of like low energy. And I think I'm a breath of fresh air because, like, yeah, I can hit those tones like we've established before to initially grab the attention. But like my true image, you know, behind all that, beyond the surface, it's just love. It's just positivity and kindness, high vibration, peace, right? And I feel like my images, from my cover art to how I dress to the Instagram posts that I make and the captions, it's just all made to empower you and make you feel good and to help you get through whatever you're going through and to be there with you, for you, you know? So I'll incorporate certain elements like, you know, standard elements like a heart or a peace sign. You know, even it even reflects in my tattoos. Like I'm going with like a nature, spiritual kind of theme, and that's like the energy that I want to portray. You know, I want to teach people about spirituality and what happens beyond this world, and I want to be a vessel that connects people closer to nature, connects people closer to being in the 3D world and not just always on your phone and always in front of a screen, you know? I want to be that vessel that leads people and they're okay with like striking up a random conversation with a person they just met that day and not being antisocial, not being so like caught up in the technology, you know, like though that's like the type of visual image, even with my YouTube videos, because that's still like visual imagery. Like that's the type of energy that I want to push. I want to empower people. I want to lift people up. Yeah, that's the type of visual imagery that I'm on. Okay, so as far as collaborations, let's see. Who have I collabed with that comes to mind? I've collabed with The Cool Pharaoh. He's pretty up there. I've collabed with some of my local artist friends. Shout out Kong. Shout out, let's see. Shout out Sober Blue. Shout out Error 404. Shout out Mark the Prophet. Shout out Jay Lotto. Shout out Jason Fletcher. You know, these are all artists who I've worked with. Shout out Jillian. Shout out TNS Ill Will. Yeah. I've collabed with a lot of artists, a lot of recurring artists, and yeah, you should definitely check it out in my discography because those are all really talented individuals and they mean the world to me. I love them. I show them. Let me backtrack. I love them, and even though I don't always show them, it's like the energy is there, the support, the spiritual assistance is there. So yeah, they're awesome. They're talented. Go check them out. Yes. And let's see. Do I want to work with any artists or producers in the future? Yes, I want to work. Let's see, producer. I'll do a producer and a music artist, and I'll go one and one. So a producer that I want to work with Dr. Dre. I think he's so cool. And then an artist I want to work with Ski Mask, the Slump God. He's amazing. And then I'll do two more. Another producer I want to work with is Timbaland. He's spectacular. And then one more artist that I would work with. Let's see. Hold on. Let me think. Let me ponder. Ooh. Justin Bieber. Ooh. You didn't expect that one. That one fucking came out of nowhere. Yeah, Justin Bieber. Okay, so my artistic growth, my growth as an artist, how do I perceive it since I first started, since my early work? Okay, well, I definitely feel like I'm more true to myself when it comes to my lyrical content and just the type of energy and music that I want to put out. So I feel like it's more true to myself and it's more like authentic. Because I feel like when I first started making music, I was putting out an image, putting out a persona that really wasn't me. It was just based off of stuff that I would hear and listen to. And I kind of like moved past that. So now a lot of my more recent music, it's like stuff that comes from me, you know? Not like because I'm trying to be like this person or portray some sort of fake image. Like, nah, it comes from my heart, comes from my soul, comes from my mind. So that's kind of where I've seen my artistic growth. And even with my personality as well, like even beyond the writing and the recording and the music, like just being more real, being more grounded and humble and more down to earth with my personality and how I choose to speak to people and how I choose to speak to myself. You know, just maturing. You know, I'm maturing, my music is maturing, my artistry is maturing. And let's see. What creative directions do you envision your music in the future? So I kind of want to keep it on the wraps, keep it a mystery because real G's move in silence. But I do want to go beyond the music. Like I do want to establish myself in the music. And I don't want to... Let me slow down. Let me get my thoughts here. I don't feel like I need to be, you know, Whisper the Coca, #1 artist in the world, back to back, Grammy winner nominated, industry pushing him hard as fuck. Like, I don't really feel like I need to do all that. I think as long as I'm financially stable and as long as I can take care of myself and my family and my people, and I have some type of like freedom in my life to where I'm not locked down to a 9-to-5 job and I can kind of just live off my own music and live healthy, live good, you know, I could have a little bit of luxury to my life and I could still be a positive influence, a leader in my community. Like, as long as I could do all that in my own scale, whatever God has planned for me, whatever the universe has planned for me, like, I'll do that, you know? I'm not asking for much, you know? I'm just kind of, like, putting good energy out there and at least let me be able to take care of myself and my family, you know? That's kind of where I'm at. And if you know, the crowd, the audience, the universe wants to bless me with like way more, you know, I think I can handle it. I think I'm prepared to make my own bed and lay in it. So yeah, that's kind of where I see myself in the future, and even just beyond music. I think I said that before, but I'll expand on it a little bit. Like I want to do pop culture in general, not just music. You know, film, clothing, video games, toys. You know, I'll stop it there. I have like my whole life planned. I'm 25 right now, but I got plans, you know, till I'm fucking 80, 90. So this is just phase one. This is just the first step. Live performing is so fun. It's like I close my eyes and something else just takes over. Like God takes over, bro. Like Jesus takes over. Like Whisper the Coca, that true raw form, that entity of so much high emotions and energy just takes over my vessel, and I'm just performing. And when I see the faces on the people in the crowd, they're smiling and laughing and bobbing their head, moving around, dancing, jumping around, mosh pitting. Even if they're hating on me, it's like it's so contagious. I'm just absorbing all that energy, and I'm just like, it's like a high. It's like a drug. You know, it's like that adrenaline that comes in. It's like you're dreaming. It's surreal. All eyes are on you. Your music is going on in the background. The crowd is fucking with your music. All the lights are going crazy and it's in sync with the beat drops in your song or whatever kind of song you have. You know, it's just in sync. The lights. Oh gosh. Just like hearing the people laugh and wow, this is awesome. Like it's so great. It's so great. Um, what do I enjoy about it? Just like losing myself in it and making the whole experience about not just, ooh, I think my camera froze. And just like not making the whole experience only about me, like making the experience about everyone involved. You know, I feel like I have really good crowd banter and crowd control, and I'm just really smooth when it comes to the crowd, you know. They just follow my lead, and I direct them. I lead them towards a good path. I lead them towards something beautiful, something they could take home and they could remember and they could think fondly of. And yeah, they could be motivated and inspired to do their own thing in their own lives. So, yeah, and do I have any particular memorable concert experiences? Yeah, there's one that comes to mind right now, and it was one of my first shows that I performed. It was for my 21st birthday, and it was like a great show. Though we had food, we had video games, we had music, a bunch of people there. We were selling merchandise. We made some money off of it. Like it was just awesome. And I was performing, I was headlining, and I got on top of the speaker. It was like a big ass speaker. There was two of them on the corners of the stage, and I hopped out on one speaker and I was like, come on, get closer, you guys are gonna catch me. So I fucking did a front flip, like a senton bomb front flip into the crowd, and they caught me. And this one dude, Mason, I think it was, he caught me on his shoulders. So he caught me, and I'm just riding through the crowd. I'm on his shoulders, like going crazy, like, woo! And I'm just like, he's walking through the crowd. I'm on his shoulders. Everyone's looking at me. All the girls are recording, like, oh my God, he just did that. That's so cool. You know, it's just like hyped up, gassed up and shit. And then I just like go back on the stage and I'm performing and I'm just hitting all the words to my song. Yeah, that was one good moment. Let's see, another good moment. When I was opening up for Lil Xan, I'm bringing up that one again because it was the most recent. It was like a huge ass crowd, and they were like fully supportive of me, and they were like on board with the brand, on board with the vision. They looked at me, they heard my music, and they were like, I like this dude. I'm gonna pay attention to him. So they were just like following my lead throughout it. You know, I would give them crowd commands and they would do it. And they were a little shy, you know, they're meeting me for the first time, a little bit introverted, but they were on board, and it just felt good because it's like, you know, that crowd was there to see Lil Xan, and Lil Xan, he made it, in my eyes at least. He made it. So it's like, if they fuck with me and that's his crowd, it's like, that's just further confidence and further proof that I can do it. So I'll give one more example of me performing. Oh, there's so many good ones. Ooh, there was this one show where I took my skateboard on the stage, and I was like, okay, when I do this, create a great separation down the middle. And the crowd, like, my beat was going. I performed like a skateboard song. It's called Let's Go Skate. And I did it, and they started like moving away. They were creating like a cavern for me, like a lane. So then I fucking grabbed my skateboard and I did a twist, like 360 jump off the stage. And then I landed on the floor, and then I skateboarded down down the little aisle that they cleared for me, like down the dance floor and then back. And then I did a kick. No, I did a ollie. I did a fucking ollie in the dance floor. And everyone was just looking at me like, this dude is wild, what the fuck? And then I went back on stage, and then I did like I put the skateboard on the floor, and then I did like a nice little subtle like flip trick with my foot. And then I just performed the song, and it was just an awesome prop, an awesome, memorable moment. And the security, they were so mad. They were threatening to take my skateboard away. They were threatening to take my skateboard away. They were like, if you do that again next time, I'm going to take your skateboard away from you. They were so mad. They were so pissed, but it was like a once-in-a-lifetime moment. I've never seen anyone fucking do that. I don't think they're going to see anyone do that. You know, so maybe I'll have to, like, once I start doing my own shows, maybe do a show at, like, a skate park. That'd be fucking sick. But, yeah. Live performances, awesome. They're awesome. Okay, that's kind of, like, a lot, so let me dissect that. So my message to the fans... Let me talk to the fans first before I talk to the artists. My message to the fans, people who look up to me, who support me, who love me, who are by my side. I just want to say that I love you, and you're awesome, and you are enough. You are worthy, and you have the potential to do whatever you want to do. Just get out of your own way, take action, take risks, and who cares what other people think? This is your life. Don't listen to society. Listen to yourself. Listen to the people who care most about you. So listen to your parents. You know, I know not everyone has the best relationship with their parents, but if you have a good relationship with your parents like I do, and you know they love you, like, listen to them because they do want the best for you. But more importantly, listen to yourself, because one day you're going to live on your own, away from your parents, and you're gonna have to figure this shit out on your own. So that's why I say, like, listen to yourself more than you listen to your friends or your boss or your coworkers, or, you know, it's just society, the matrix, you know, because everyone grew up different. Everyone has different opinions and perceptions and experiences. So, like, don't let other people try to lead you towards how your life should be. Like, only you could lead you down the life you want, right? And your decisions are important. You know, you have to really think about the decisions you do in life, because some decisions are minor, but some decisions are major. So you really have to, like, do your research and pace yourself and take your time and make the decisions that you feel align with who you are and who you want to be, who you like, the type of energy you want to put out. Like, how do you want to make other people feel? How do you want to make yourself feel? Because that's a huge correlation. If you make someone else feel shitty, that's mainly because you feel shitty about yourself, you know? But if you feel good on the inside, like, obviously, I think naturally you're going to want to make other people feel good. So focus on making yourself feel good, love yourself, heal yourself. Don't listen to society, listen to you. And if you do want to listen to someone who's higher than you and who's above you, because you feel like you're lost or you can't do it on your own, listen to God, listen to Jesus. I bring them up throughout this interview because, like, life is so real, spirituality is so real. There's really, like, a God and a devil out here, and I just want to lead people towards something beautiful, Call it cringy, call it corny, I don't give a fuck. That's what I believe in. That's, like, where I'm grounded in. People will resonate with it, people won't resonate with it, but this is just who I am. This is what I like to talk about. So yeah, make yourself feel good. And let me talk to the artists. Okay, get closer, bro or sis. I'm about to put you on some game, some advice. Okay, so when it comes to your art, it's okay to take inspiration. It's okay to listen to an artist and be like, ooh, I kind of want to make a song and I kind of want to sound like them. Like, when you're very first starting, it's okay. But if you want to take it to that next level, if you want to make money off of it, if you want it to be your career, if you want to have your own style and be remembered for someone who's unique and not just in the shadow of someone else, you do eventually have to take those influences and you have to blend them together and you have to put your own stuff into it, because you yourself, you're unique. There's no one else in the world exactly like you. You're 100% you. So as long as you put whatever is in your heart, whatever's in your mind, whatever's in your spirit into your art, into your craft, you're gonna stand out. You're good. You don't have to worry about trying to sound like someone else, because that's stressful if you're trying to constantly sound like other people. It's like you're constantly in competition with other people. But if you're just locked in and focused on what you think is cool, what's naturally coming out of you, you have no competition. Your only competition is yourself. And that's way easier to manage. So yeah, you could do that. And then as far as, like, networking and growing in the industry, like, I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of evil stuff that happens behind the scenes in the music industry, and not even in just the music industry. In the world, there's a lot of evil, there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of manipulation and people trying to take advantage of you physically, sexually, mentally, whatever. It's out there. You see it. I don't even have to speak too much about it. You see it going on in the hip hop world. So it's like, you can grow and you could level up and you could progress in your career, and you don't have to be a part of that bullshit. You could just stay in your own lane. You don't have to sign to a label. I'm not saying sign, I'm not saying don't sign. Do whatever the fuck you want. But it's like, we live in a community, we live in an age where you could do it yourself. A lot of people, they're doing it independent. They're creating their own labels. They have their own passive businesses. Like, it's so easy nowadays to become wealthy, to become a billionaire, because you could create a career out of anything. You could be a professional cuddler. You could be a professional musician. You could be a professional video game player. You could be a professional sex worker. Like, you could do anything. So you don't have to feel the pressure or the negligence in feeling like you have to, go one certain way. You have to sign to a certain person to succeed, because there's multiple paths to success. You just have to create your own path to success. You know? It's like, if I could give an analogy, it's like you're going into a mansion, right? In a mansion, there's so many different ways to get to the main bedroom. Like, yeah, you could go through the front door. That's the most popular. That's probably the easiest, the fastest. But sometimes the easiest, the fastest isn't always the healthiest in the long run. Sometimes that's not always going to fulfill you and please you like how you think it is. You know, sometimes don't go through the front door. Maybe go through a window, or fucking go through a helicopter and go through the top, or I don't know, dig underground and go through the bottom, you know, go through the side door, the back door. Like, there's so many different paths to success. So whatever your dreams, whatever your goals you want to achieve in the music industry, you could do that. And you don't have to sell your soul. You don't have to compromise your morals or your ethics or your integrity. You don't have to do something you regret to get where you want to be. You know, you could take your own path. You could take your own path. You can create your own wave. Because once you create your own path, your own wave, people are going to follow you, and then that's going to be the main popular path. So don't be afraid to be a pioneer. Don't be afraid to do something different. Stay true to yourself. Love yourself. Yeah. So that's my advice. This is Whisper the Coke God. Thank you. Once again, let me pull up the name so I could thank you, Julian, for reaching out. Thank you, Wavy Magazine, for having me on here. I appreciate you. I wish you all, whoever's incorporated in that magazine, I wish you all success and abundance and prosperity. And yeah, thanks for having me on here. Peace.